So I did law because of my parents. And honestly, in level 100, I wanted to leave because I just felt like it was, as an intelligent child, things come easily to me. So law was hard. Law is hard. So law is hard.
Yeah.
So if you want to study law, it will be best to start from a perspective of someone who wants to study law. Not that you think you cannot study law. Because if you think you cannot study law, maybe you have the interest, you just don't think you have the capability. If you have the interest, you find the capability, right?
Yeah.
But law, I have never regretted studying law because it's a great perspective to have on life. When you study law and you read so many legal cases, you see so much just from a book, and it informs the way you live your life. So
Yeah.
definitely, if you have the opportunity to study law, it is good knowledge to have.
Hi everyone. So if you are a subscriber or you have been on this channel before, you know that I'm a lawyer, right? But I sincerely don't know anything about tech or IT. The IT I know is what I can use on my phone and the bits that I can read online. But today I have a lawyer who is an expert in maritime law. And then she's transitioning into tech, or maybe she's already there. And I just want to learn because I'm here, I've taken my seat. I'm here to learn everything that she has to share about her journey, how she started, why she even went into tech or maritime law, what maritime law is about, right? So if you are interested in a conversation like this, you're at the right place. Now, I'm introducing you to one of my favorite people in the world. Ikea, welcome to Lawyer Tina channel. I'm excited.
Thank you, Tina.
It's been long. How is everything?
Has. Everything is fine. I'm well. I'm very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm good. It's good to
Okay.
see you. It's
Yeah.
good to see you. Okay, so today we are here to learn at your feet. But before we do that, please introduce yourself to us. Anything we need to know about this conversation and your background and what you are doing now so that we can follow the discussion.
With pleasure. Hello,
Ah,
my name is Akua Ameley. I am a lawyer and I have a master's in maritime law. So I am also an international maritime lawyer. That is my specialization. Last year, I decided to transition into tech. And in that transition, I entered data and AI governance. And now I have founded a company called AfriTrade, where we are bringing together businesses in Africa to trade. So that is me in a nutshell. It's great to be
this
here.
nutshell. Yes, you're going to break the nutshell into bits and bits. Now let's talk about the law journey and
Yeah,
then how you manage to get into maritime law.
yeah.
What's it about? Like, let's see how the process was. Did
Okay.
you just wake up and say, I'm going to read law and get into maritime law? You're one of those people that's it was the spirit who spoke to you. Like, tell us about the process.
Okay. So the law process was honestly because my father is a lawyer.
Mm.
So I knew it from the earliest days that I was going to be a lawyer. So that is how I ordered my life, and that's how I became a lawyer. Now, the maritime lawyer is also because my father is a maritime lawyer.
Okay.
So I I took a diploma in international maritime law. Then I did a master's in international maritime law. That was a 3-year journey, but you can do it in 1 year. But I wanted to do it in 3 years because the first 2 years was taught, and the third year was a thesis.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is how I entered maritime law. Now, what is maritime law? Maritime law is basically the law around the sea operations, ships, vessels, cargo, the law in that whole area. That is maritime law. What I did mostly was carriage of goods by sea. So I know Timu is big in Ghana now. So if there's an issue, that is kind of the job I was doing at the time. So that is maritime law.
I know. Thank you for
Yeah.
this, but break it down. So the law about sea
Yeah.
carriage of goods. What's it about? Like, So let's take a typical example of what you would do if maybe there's something about carriage of goods. Not what you
Okay.
would do, but what a lawyer may have to do in all this process, because
Okay.
it looks abstract to me and to
I
someone else.
understand. Yes.
Uh-huh.
So although some of the rules are similar to regular law, the general law, but some of the rules are specialized because of the nature of international trade by sea. So if you are talking about commercial international law, which is trade of goods, for example, let's say you are a yam farmer sending goods to Europe. Now that
Okay.
means the yam has to be stored in a particular temperature
Okay.
and it has to get there by a particular date. So
Okay.
now, if any of those don't happen and the yam goes bad, the buyers are saying they are not going to pay for the full price. You have come at a loss. What do you do? Because there are specialized rules, there are limitations on how long you can even bring an action, how much you can gain from an action. That is the space in which I was working.
Okay. So it means
Yeah.
that if I'm selling yam to someone in Kumasi in Ghana
Yes.
here, and we are selling it by Chocho, the laws are different.
Yes,
The same
definitely.
if I'm sending yam to someone in, say, Canada. It
Yeah,
means the laws
the
will be
laws.
different.
Yes,
Ooh, okay.
yes,
So you need a
yes,
lawyer to tell you how to do it, when to do it, in case you are trying
yes,
to get your money from the other person and they are not paying. There's a particular
yes,
kind of rules. Huh.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
It sounds great. It
yes.
sounds great. Okay. Maybe when I grow up, when I grow up, I may look into that one. Okay, that's great. So did you
Yeah,
practice in that area for long? How long did you do
I
that?
practiced for 3 years. The maritime space in Ghana is interesting. I was doing some arrest of vessels. Basically, if you don't want a vessel to leave Ghanaian waters, because when they go, it's hard to get them for what they've done wrong. So basically, yes, you have to go against the vessel
Okay.
to prevent the vessel from leaving. And usually they will settle, but sometimes the cases can lag. But that was mainly the space in which I was working. Sometimes too, if some vessels get into problems with the government or the navy, there are specific rules on ways in which you can get the vessel released. So that was the main space for me.
Oh, it sounds so interesting, Ikea.
It
I
is.
am not. It is. So then why did you move? Why did you leave maritime? Okay, let me ask about if it paid
Yeah,
well. Maybe
very
some people
well.
want to say it paid. Okay.
Yeah, maritime law pays very well. It's a very lucrative field because it's specialized, highly specialized. So you have to understand the rules because, for example, if you are bringing an action against the vessel, ordinarily you have only 1 year to bring the action. And Tina, you know that in a normal contract, that's 6 years. But if it's a vessel, ordinarily you have only 1 year. So the rules are different in some respects that you have to act swiftly. So maritime law is a lucrative space to be in if you have especially the good training, because
Okay.
law too, you need a good senior to
Yeah.
understand the space. So if you have a good senior that you are learning under, it's a great field to be in.
Technical field. That's
Yeah.
great. So if someone wants to move into maritime law, if maybe the person is an undergrad right now,
Yeah.
is there anything special you think the person should do or know or learn? Are there some courses that they should take some serious? Are there some courses that they should take seriously and others that they can just take it lightly? All of it.
Others you can take lightly in law, we can't really talk about others you can take lightly because you need a holistic understanding as a lawyer to be a good lawyer. So
Yeah.
your bases have to be good. But in international law, you learn some maritime law, carriage of goods by sea. You learn a little of the law of the sea, right?
Yeah.
So while it is a lucrative field, you also have to ask yourself whether it's a field you are interested in. Because I know, especially when you're in school, it's just about the money,
Yeah.
but when you finish school, it can be about the money, but you have to ask yourself whether the money is enough. Is enough. Is fine, right? That is, if that's all that you are asking for and you have no special interest in it, that's fine. But I mean, it is a master's basically. If you take a master's, that helps you to understand. You're a maritime lawyer, basically.
Are there schools in Ghana that you can do this maritime law, whether the diploma or the masters, or you have to go outside the countries?
Okay, so Currently, I think at the time I was doing my master's, University of Ghana wasn't offering a master's in maritime law, but now I think they do offer one. I did my
Okay.
master's with World Maritime University. It is in Sweden. So that is also an option. But yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of
That's
schools offer international maritime law masters, but most of them are outside Ghana.
that's great. All right.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, Ghana, sea, where is the sea? Tema, Cape
Takoradi.
Coast, Takoradi. I
Yes.
mean, Cape Coast is not much to be done here in Cape Coast. So
It's the way
does
the
it mean that
ports are.
where the
It,
ports are? Yes, so it means
exactly.
Takoradi and Tema.
Yes.
So does it mean that if you have to practice in maritime law, you have to be based in two of these areas, or you can be based anywhere and still be working?
I think you can be based anywhere because as lawyers, especially in litigation, we travel everywhere.
Okay,
So while it will be good for you to be closer to the port cities or in the port cities, I think you can practice from anywhere, mm, depending on how often you are ready to be doing the trip for court.
for courts, very well.
Yeah.
Do we have specialized courts in Ghana for maritime actions, or is just
N-
the ordinary courts?
not necessarily, but there are some judges who have a good understanding of maritime law. So
Okay,
while we don't have a specialized court in Tema, especially when if you there's a judge in Tema, they will have an understanding of maritime law because that's where the cases will come.
very well.
Yeah.
Okay, so now apart from going to court as a maritime lawyer, is there something else you
Yeah.
can do? So can you just say that I'll be in the office, I'll be a corporate kind of lawyer in the
Yeah.
maritime field, or just a consultant? How does that work as well?
So maybe that will be contracts. That will be contracts with the freight forwarders, contracts with the middlemen. You can work as the in-house counsel for the shipping companies. There's a big space if you want to be corporate maritime. So that is there. It is there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
maritime is just like any kind of law practice where you
Yeah.
can do consultancy, you can do
Yes.
litigation. Oh, that's
Yes.
great because my last guest that I spoke to talked about how there was a lady in her office who was a consultant. She only came to the office like twice a week, and she was all classy. She had the money, you could smell the money, and she was into maritime. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, can I do something like that once a week? I just go and sit somewhere, give my advice, and then get up and go home. That sounds interesting.
Definitely. Definitely.
Oh,
Especially if you charge percentages, because maritime contracts would definitely be large amounts of contracts in probably US dollars or some other big currency. So if you are charging a percentage as a lawyer, that would be good for you if you are living in Ghana, right? So
US dollars, right?
yeah.
I like the sound of that. Now, I think I've
Mhm.
gotten a lot of understanding in
Yeah.
that field. Now, let's talk about tech. I don't know anything about tech. So take me through why you get into something great as maritime law and why you transition into tech. Are you still using your law or is just tech only? So tell me about it. Why did you do
Okay.
that? Tell
Okay.
us.
So when I was in level 300 in Legon, I
Mhm.
went for this boot camp organized by a tech community called Developers in Vogue. It was for women to learn Python programming. I That was when I realized that I love tech. So I love coding especially. So we went for a boot camp. It was great. At the time I was already in level 300, so there was no detour because I'd come
Yeah.
too far.
Come, come.
So I decided that tech is in my future, it's just not now. So I finished University of Ghana, I finished Makola, and I started practice. But when I entered my third year of practice, I just knew it was time. I started a Python course and it was I felt like tech was passing me by. And I had wanted to do them side by side, but the law is jealous. It's a very jealous
Jello. Envious.
it's
You want
an envious
attention.
career. Like you can't. So
Yeah.
and I am also more geared towards a remote lifestyle than in person lifestyle. So
Yeah.
having to go to the office every day. Although the work was good, the pay was very good. It was taking a toll on my quality of life because I was more interested in remote, flexible life more than in office to courts and back.
Yeah.
So I had to make the decision to take a step back and recover from everything the law had taken.
Everything, right? Yeah. And that's a lot.
Everything.
The
It
Lord
was
takes
a
a
lot.
lot from you. Oh. So how has it been? Do you love it as much as you ever wanted?
Yeah, so the good thing about this particular climate, this particular professional climate, is that you don't leave anything, you add on,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So while I decided to enter cloud engineering, but so I started with coding because that is
Okay.
where I left off, and I
Okay.
enjoyed it a lot. Only that at this time, coding software engineers, especially junior software engineers, may not be in such high demand because of artificial intelligence. So I
Okay.
decided to relegate my interest in coding to a hobby rather than finding a career in it, right? So
Okay.
then a friend of mine, she's on LinkedIn. I met her through TikTok. She's called Ruth Goldie. She
This
kept encouraging me to start posting on TikTok, start posting on TikTok. It's no, not TikTok, LinkedIn, right?
LinkedIn. Okay.
For like 6 months, every time she texts me, she's like, I've not seen your first LinkedIn post. Where is it? And it was so stressful because I am an introvert. I wanted to work remotely. I don't want to be out there. It is loud, you know,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
wasn't ready for that. But I saw a challenge by another person on LinkedIn called Gloria Novel. And I
Okay.
decided to do that challenge. 2 weeks into doing that challenge, I got a position as a data and AI governance consultant. So
Hmm.
that is
Just
how
like just by posting on
mm,
LinkedIn.
I was posting on LinkedIn for every day for 2 weeks straight. And
Wow.
that was how I got that position. It was with a startup. I mean, it's so with startups, you do a lot more than your job role because startups are small,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I still did legal in the tech space. So contract management, contract negotiation, partnerships. So I still do legal work, but
Okay.
I am also doing it in the tech space.
How is your work different from someone who is just into tech and has no legal background at all?
Okay.
Help us to understand. Yeah.
Okay, so tech is broad. I mean, not every role in tech is coding. So
Okay.
you have software engineers, you also have product managers, you have project managers, you have legal. So the tech space is more than just coding, as a lot of people see it, more than just AI, more than just machine learning. It is a broad range of people who do what is seen as the core work and people who do what people will see as their supporting work to make sure that the core work stands. So
Okay.
while I still do legal work, the data and AI governance is also quite interesting. I that's basically I branch more into AI ethics, bias, making sure that the AI models are not biased, and not they are they're transparent, there are different guidelines for developing an AI model. The African space is not as advanced when it comes to AI to move into AI governance, but it is quite an interesting space to still work with. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, when I hear things about AI, people say you have to know some maths, you have to be good in maths. That's what I hear. So, did you have to do anything maths? Did you have to know anything maths before you could transition into that area?
No, so I already like math. That I can't. It's always been a thing I've loved. Right? If the
Okay.
law didn't work out, it was going to be mathematician. So I love math, right?
Okay.
But I learning the basics of AI, because AI governance does not is not the person who is creating the model, is the person who is making sure the model is compliant, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So while it is good to understand, you are not going to necessarily be the one developing the model. I am taking courses in AI just for hobby purposes. So I can develop models for my purposes to make my life easier, but I
Okay.
wouldn't need them for my role.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I understand you well up to this point, there are people who create let me use the coding word. I don't know what it
Yeah.
means, but there are people who code and create things so that the tech space can
Yeah.
function. And
Yeah.
then there are some people who want to make sure that the rules are complied with. Maybe
Yes.
there are some rules. So you talk about ethics. So that is your field now, the data and AI governance. You want to make
Yes.
sure that even as people are creating models so that we use them to work, they are
Yeah.
complying with some laws or regulations. And that's what
Yes.
the
Or even
data AI
yes. Or
governance is.
yes. Yes. Or even soft law. What I mean is that when I say
Principles.
soft law,
Mhm.
what I mean
Nobody's
is
beat you. Yeah.
nobody will beat
No,
you if you
nobody
don't
will
do
beat
it.
you. Yes.
But you should. Like you
Because it's
should
fair.
make sure that your model doesn't filter out women for job applications,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There are some things that they may not necessarily be legislated in your country, but
Yeah.
it is good practice,
Yeah.
right? Those are the kinds of things. So I am even a member of an NGO called Open Ethics Initiative, is Europe based, that is
Okay.
creating good practices around artificial intelligence.
Okay, I get that.
Mhm.
So I think I
Yes.
saw a movie. I've forgotten what was happening, but someone was
Mhm.
trying to create a dating app, and it looks like it was biased towards Black women. So
Mhm.
like Black women were going to get some classes of men, which
Yeah.
were wrong. Like it looked like you're just giving me these men because I'm Black.
Yeah.
So these are like some soft laws that everybody who is creating apps like this should respect, so that we
Yes.
will not we can't do in the real world. We cannot be doing it
Yes.
online as well. Ah,
Exactly.
okay, that makes sense.
But when it
It
comes
makes
to
sense.
AI, right? When it comes
Mhm.
to AI, definitely Europe has a law, right? But it is not applicable here just yet. So
No,
sometimes you
exactly.
just model your model around their laws, because
Yeah.
definitely it will spread when the time is right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it will get here soon. Maybe because we
Yeah.
are not so focused on it at this moment, but
Yeah.
I'm sure if it comes to a court in Ghana and they are looking for laws to govern AI, if they don't find any, they will go to Europe and look at what is the best
Definitely.
practices there. Does tech really pay well? Do we have jobs readily available? And does it pay as much as your maritime was paying you, or you're at a startup area, so you don't really care how much they pay you? So,
Okay. So I like money. Let me start with that. Money is very
hi.
important to my peace of mind and my
Yes.
person, right? But also I like flexibility. I am not paid as well as I was paid as a maritime lawyer, right? Because maritime law, I mean, even as a lawyer, right? But
Yeah.
I am building to get where I want to be financially. Working with a
Yeah.
startups ordinarily don't pay as much as you would pay in an established company, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes I see it as a trade-off with the flexibility I have in terms of being able to be the master of my own day. So while I am working towards the kind of money I want to continue being a baby girl, I still enjoy waking up in the morning, starting my day at midday. That kind of flexibility for me is a good short-term trade-off to build the kind of system I want for myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's fair. I mean, in every
Mhm.
in every profession where you are starting, you don't start off big. Even in
Yeah.
law, start from
Yeah.
somewhere they pay you, and then
Yeah.
very soon you'll be your own boss. Like
Yeah.
one day I'll be my own boss, and I'll be
You are
deciding when
already
to.
your own boss, please.
Let me just say one day. So it's a good when you're building something. That's something that people don't know. When you're building a career, a future for yourself in a particular field,
Yes.
it may not start off as great as you expected to start
Yes.
off in terms of financial
Yes. Yes.
compensation.
Yeah.
But one day you will be the most experienced person in that field. And
Exactly.
1 minute of call with you can pay lots of money, lots of money. And I love to see that. Now I know you are doing something great now.
Yeah.
You've been talking about free trade,
Yeah.
and let me tell you, I am so excited about it. Like I
Me
think
too.
when I see you, I'm like, oh, my baby girl is doing wonders. And I want you to tell us all about it.
Okay.
Where did that one start from?
Okay.
And what's the future of it? And how can people
Okay.
come in if they want to join
Okay.
the free trade, as you've always talked about?
Okay. All right. So a free trade came out of the data and AI consultancy I'm working with. So
Okay.
over there, my manager is UK based, but he's Ghanaian. So he went for a trade event and he came back and we were having one of our catch ups and he said, I went for a trade event. I was talking to, I think the director general at the time, I forget her name, of the WTO, I forget her name, but he had a conversation with her and he thought that this was something that can work. So it was just a conversation, a friendly conversation. And I said, this can actually work because in addition to you having the tech, I have the maritime, right?
Okay.
So we can actually push this well because now you have the hard tech. I have both the soft tech and legal and maritime. So the space is ripe for this.
Yeah.
So what a free trade is it will start as a website where businesses in Africa can trade with each other. That's basically it. We
Okay.
help you with compliance. We help you understand what laws you have to abide by because sometimes the legal framework is complex and smaller businesses cannot understand what they need to do to be able to
Yeah.
export or to benefit under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, although they are African. So
Yeah.
now we are going to help you with to understand what you need to do to benefit under the laws that have been enacted for you as a business person.
Yeah.
Then we are also we are taking care of logistics. So we are partnering with reliable logistics companies that will take the goods and bring them to your doorstep as a business. So it's B2B for now, right?
Okay.
Then payments are going to be in local currencies. So you are not converting anything to anything. If you are in
Okay.
Ghana, you are buying in cedis. If you're in Kenya, you are selling in Kenyan shilling. And lastly, because of the trust bit, we are offering escrow protection. So while the buyer pays upon the order, the seller receives upon delivery. So
Okay.
we are
Upon
we are
delivery.
taking basically an Amazon for businesses in Africa. That's basically it.
So it's within Africa
Yes, for now.
now. Okay, so it
Yes.
means that I can create an account with AfriTrade
Yes.
right here in Cape Coast on the
Yes.
website. If I
Yes.
have some what do I even have? If I have some tomatoes, my mother's
Yes.
tomatoes, and she has them
Yes.
in bulk, and I can
Yes.
package them, you will help me with the laws that govern
Yes.
trading with another person in Nigeria. You
Yes.
would help me with how the packaging should be. I'll put it on the
Yes.
website. And then
Yes.
you would also send a delivery truck or something to pick them up
Yes.
and then transfer it same to Nigeria. And I
Yes.
get my money.
So right now, when it comes to the logistics bit, we are still sorting that out because we are yet to launch, right?
So that's the
But
future
we
of it.
yes, definitely. So that's the future
Okay.
of it. But when it comes to the logistics, we are still negotiating with our logistics partners how it will look like because we want it to be from end to end, right? But that's
Okay.
but that is the plan. The goal, the mission of the company is to make sure that businesses in Africa can trade because intra-African trade is only 16% of the trade in Africa. And just that 16%, just
A
those
lot.
MSMEs, the MSMEs, which are even less than that 16%, are contributing half to Africa's GDP. So you can
Oh,
imagine if we open that
everywhere.
space for more MSMEs, more businesses, more smaller businesses who are selling to other businesses. So that means that's wholesale selling. So everything, like we are just creating a space for them. So we are
Okay.
launching in November. We are going to start with businesses in Ghana and Nigeria to
Okay. Mm. Yeah.
settle the system, understand what trade looks like on the ground. Because right now the idea is good, it sounds good on paper. We are developing partnerships with the relevant governmental and regional bodies.
Okay.
But we want to run the pilot program, see where we could not have seen on paper, get
Okay.
that before we start expanding to other African countries.
Ah, that sounds good. That sounds
Yeah.
good. So, I mean, it means anybody can take advantage of this. If
Yes.
you have a product,
You're a
then you want
business.
to sell the product, you have a
Yes.
business, then you can take care
Yes.
of. Okay.
Yeah.
Will you, I mean, can that cover services as well? Like if you have some services that you want to provide, how does that work? Will that be
So
able
like
to?
how it should, right? But you always have to start small. That's why we are starting small, right?
Yeah.
We have to start small and work well so we don't expand faster than we can handle.
Okay. So for now,
Yeah.
products, businesses selling tangible items to people
Yes,
within Africa.
tangible items. Exactly.
I like that. I please give us your email
With
or anything that
pleasure.
we can send some information to because we all want to see how it starts so that when it grows, we will say, we were there when it started. Yes.
I would love that. So currently, I am most active on LinkedIn. So my
Okay.
LinkedIn is Akua Ameley. So
Okay.
you will find me talking a lot about free trade over there, right?
Okay.
I am going to start a TikTok soon because I know that is also another avenue to create more awareness about what we are building because I realize that the awareness is also as important as the product,
Yeah.
right?
That's
So we are building the awareness for the product, then we'll launch the product in November. So right now the engineers are going crazy, completing the version one of the app. There's a lot of work, but the work is
no,
being done
it's
by
worth it.
very committed people.
That's great. I'm happy
Yeah,
for you. Now
thank
I
you.
see you using law in tech, tech in Afritrade, law in
Yes,
Afritrade, and I'm like, how lucky you are. It looks
it's
like you've
exciting.
transitioned, but then you're still using almost everything you've learned. Now,
Exactly.
if there's anyone in law school or somebody that maybe the father says go and read law, and
Okay.
they are saying, I don't really like the law, I
Yeah.
don't want to. What would you say based on your experiences and all the things that
Okay.
you've done with the law? What would you tell that person? Maybe level 100. They don't want the law, they don't like it. I'm doing it because of my mom. What would you tell the person?
Okay. So I did law because of my parents. And honestly, in level 100, I wanted to leave because I just felt like it was, as an intelligent child, things come easily to me. So law was hard. Law is hard. So law is hard.
Yeah.
So if you want to study law, it will be best to start from a perspective of someone who wants to study law. Not that you think you cannot study law. Because if you think you cannot study law, maybe you have the interest, you just don't think you have the capability. If you have the interest, you find the capability, right?
Yeah.
But law, I have never regretted studying law because it's a great perspective to have on life. When you study law and you read so many legal cases, you see so much just from a book, and it informs the way you live your life. So
Yeah.
definitely, if you have the opportunity to study law, it is good knowledge to have, even if you will not be actively practicing before the courts or whatever it is. Law is good knowledge to have, and it's a privilege to study law. If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
But if you can, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I also almost
Okay.
stopped studying law in level 100 because I was like, what
It was
is
so
this?
hard.
It's so hard.
Why,
Why are you doing
and why
this
was I
to
getting
me?
a C? Like,
Me getting a C and a C, like, I couldn't get it. Like me, I'm getting a C. Do you know me?
I'm there, like, when you count intelligent people in my school, I was part. So,
Number one, I was overall and I was getting C's. I'm like,
I
what is wrong with you
know
people?
how intelligent you. And that's the thing. Law humbles everybody.
It
You will
humbles
you will
everybody.
be humbled because you are in a class with extremely intelligent people, and even the person who is at the end of the class is extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
So if you learn law, you haven't wasted your time at all. You haven't
Thank you.
wasted your time at all. Yeah.
Thank you.